Hey there, Super Squad. Another surge in the books. We got to talk with Italo Leiva from Peddle. He shared some amazing SOPs for training and enablement using Super across platforms. Really cool. And we heard from Matt. He shared some super feature updates like the UI getting a little bit of a paint job and record customization. Plus, he let everybody in on journeys. Let's check out the recording of the surge together now. Let's get everybody started so that we can dissect everything that Italo is going to share with us. So welcome to the surge, everybody. We've got Italo Leiva from Peddle. He's going to share all of his amazing knowledge that he's learned as a super HubSpot admin user and agency user. So we're going to get all of that wonderful knowledge right out of his head. And welcome to the stage, Italo. If you haven't
Cool.
checked out this
Yeah.
picture, check it out.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the intro. And definitely thanks for the awesome picture. It made my day. It's funny. I didn't know which superhero I was going to be. I thought about this when I saw Scott's, and Thor never crossed my mind. If I could have picked one, that would have been one. So thank you.
Awesome.
So I'm Italo from Peddle. Peddle is a HubSpot RevOps agency. We've been running this for a little under 2 years now. I was part of a bigger HubSpot agency before this, and we kind of broke off to focus on things that we really like doing. Before we were part of like a general agency that did everything digital marketing, and we kind of wanted to focus on our strengths, which for us are HubSpot, lead generation, and revenue operations. My background was in entrepreneurship before it was in marketing, and so I'm a big startup guy, and leveraging technology to kind of like automate businesses or streamline processes has been like my claim to fame and the thing that I love to do. So Supered was like a very obvious partner for us whenever we came across it when we spoke to Matt about it. So that's kind of some background on me and what we do as the agency. Yeah, just happy to be here and kind of watch you guys do what I have. Is there some startup questions, D'Ana, or how do we get started?
No, we just go ahead and dive in. You're going to let us
Cool.
know, all of the things you've learned about SOPs and how to get training enablement right into people's platforms.
Cool. All right, I'll share my screen. Let's see. So as I mentioned, the kind of our thing at Peddle was how do we help people leverage technology to kind of streamline their businesses, and hence the HubSpot partnership. And I have a couple different startups, and like one of them is like a trucking company. And my favorite thing about today's age is that you can use technology to pretty much train people, track things, and see what's going on with your businesses without having to be there in person. So as we scaled the business over at Peddle and as my other businesses have scaled, I'm always looking for ways to onboard and train new team members. So that's kind of the what our first use case for Supered was. So we do this internally and we do this for clients as well. At Peddle, now that we're at the growth stage, we're finally scaling our business model. What we try to figure out how to do was how to kind of clone our processes. So Super's been great for building out sales pipeline and marketing stuff in HubSpot, but today's age, ourselves and our clients always have like a pretty large tech stack. It'll be like, yeah, we use HubSpot for this, for marketing. We use Salesforce for sales. We use these three tools for SOPs. We use invoicing from this tool or the other. And so the thing that I liked best about Supered was that we could allow the extension to go on multiple different platforms and teach people their entire processes. In Super or in app. So I'll go through a couple of those use cases for you. The first one I have here is one we have for a client called Blazy Susan. And what we did for them is, like most companies today, they have a million things in their tech stack. But what's really specific about them is that they're a cannabis company. And so they could never, ever have their billing or payment system inside of HubSpot. It's always going to live in a third-party tool called Invoice Ninja. And because they're a large distribution, they have a large distribution network. They also have to have third-party tools for managing their inventory and warehouse management systems. So whenever we got them, we had to build an integration to be able to have their payment speak to their HubSpot deals, but also be able to train their team on like what to do in which system. So I have like a quick little demo of like how that works here.
Perfect.
So let me go back to the sales pipeline. Actually, might be better.
Love to see a good demo of how you constructed everything and put it all together so that others can get ideas and create their own.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this is kind of like the inspiration of what we did in house as well. This is our first one. It was a really, really good one because they had such a like a like a diverse need. So because they're a large company, they have a bunch of different sales pipelines, like inbound versus outbound, retail versus distribution. And so these sales processes work a little differently for each one of these. I know the last surge, you guys talked about the sales process a lot, so I won't harp on that too much. I think everybody understands that part. But what was different for us in this unique case was their quoting. So as they're working through the sales pipeline, it's important for people to know which sales pipeline is for which team members and what they're doing in each deal stage. We have that listed out here. But the thing that was unique is that when you get to the quoting stage, we had to make sure that since they use a third-party tool called Invoice Ninja for this integration to work, you have to have a client or a company. You have to have an email address for the contact, and you have to have product and line items, or it wouldn't sync correctly. So we had to make sure that that was that got across to the team when they were building out their deals. So in here in this quoting process, we have like a walkthrough of how to create a quote, how to update a deal in HubSpot to make sure you have all of the required properties before it goes to the stage and creates that invoice. And then we also have like a scribe how SOP walkthrough of like a step-by-step guide on how to do that in case you get confused.
That's great. So everything is just, it lives right where they're actually working, right in that pipeline, so that each pipeline's specific process has its own instructions.
Yep, correct. Yep, it lives here. So when they're going through it, they can see exactly what to do. They have a video that's helpful to give background. They have text. We have Miro flow charts as well. That's one thing we did that we thought was important for these situations is not every sales process is the same. So we diagram them out. And then we have like a guide, like a walkthrough of, you know, what to do in each stage, what to click, what properties need to be added. And then of course we use process enforcements to make sure that those things are added at the stage before it goes over. This might take a minute. Yep.
This is Matt. It looks like Frank was
Matt.
saying that. Yeah, what up? Hey, what are you using in your card in order to create those back and forth guides?
Yeah. So in here we have we've married Loom to all the processes. So there's a quick demonstration walkthrough of us doing this for our clients. We can do this for every major process. The second thing we have is a scribe. This is like a guide me step-by-step SOP for how to do the process. And then we also have Miros for a diagram. If it's a larger process that requires a visual, then we also have a Miro board. So we pretty much put those three in every major process for ourselves and our clients. And they just embed right into the supercard. Then we have steps. Let me see if I can show you this. So reason it didn't pull up. I think maybe my internet's just going slow. But
Italo, I just want to say, sometimes you have dreams. I've had lots of dreams in my life. One of them was everything you just saw in a card everywhere. So thank you for making my dream come true. That's all.
Thank you for the enablement. Thank you for enabling us to enable others. So I don't know why it's not pulling up. I think my internet's a little shoddy today, but like I said, the important processes here that's different from everything from normal sales processes is quoting stage. So we had to map the Invoice Ninja quote stages to the HubSpot pipeline and make sure that the integration would send them back and forth. So we've mapped that out here. We have SOPs on how to do it. And then they also follow you here. So whenever you come into this section and you want to check out invoices and see what happens there, you have that process here again on what to do. It's fragmented where half of it happens in HubSpot. And then you get here because of Invoice Ninja's email tool, their email has a cookie that shows if they review the invoice, if they pay the invoice, etc. That has to be done in this system. So we have that part of the process here for them to follow as well. So it kind of goes across platform. So that's kind of like the basic use case that we've done for them. We've done this in a lot of different ways. Our specialties are like fintech and health tech. So with all those companies, they always have another system. Like healthcare always has EHR systems, right? They have patient records that can't go into HubSpot because of HIPAA. So this is always the case for us. We always have to have these SOPs go across platform and have them break at some point so that people can follow the process somewhere else. So that's kind of how we've done it for our clients. I can stop for questions there, and then I can move on to how we use it in-house for ourselves.
How are you keeping that continuity when you do cross-platform besides, it showing up directly in Chrome?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. There's a mirror that kind of diagrams that out, like what happens where. I think this one's for us, but we kind of have this with everybody, like what happens where, like which system things happen in. Those mirrors usually in there. So if somebody has an overview of the process first and which tech stack what happens in. And then we also have like links in the cards, right? It's like in the cards, like, hey, go here. And then the guide does that as well. As you notice here in this guide, when you get to that step, it has the link. So you click on it, you go to that app. So all the above things, we figured that why not put it everywhere?
No, I love the mirror that shows, what that flow looks like, because that's, I think, a part where a lot of people get stuck and hung up on, I don't know what to create first. So mapping it out
Yeah.
like that is really smart.
That's a good point. That is the first thing we do. The first thing we do when we do these processes is, after we've worked it out with the client, is we draw a Miro. And so once we have that and the client signed off on that, then we build the process. And then once the client has used the process for a certain set amount of time, maybe a couple of weeks, and they've given us feedback on it and any adjustments have made, then we create the SOP in Supered. And while I'm creating the SOP, I just do it. Like I turn on my scribe and I'll just go do the process myself. And Scribe will record me doing the process, and the AI and Scribe will kind of document most of it. And I'll pop that in here and then take the text and pop it into Supered. It's like a flow.
There you go. Done for you. And there's some questions on, is Scribe better than IRAD? Have you utilized?
I've never tried it. I mean, I found Scribe pretty early on, and I was a huge fan of it. And I haven't tried anything else that does a similar function. Yes, I would know. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I can help answer, just having used both before.
Do it.
IRAD gives you more flexibility to, so Scribe is not, it's nothing more than, but also very easy. It just automatically takes snips and pictures of what you do, and then gives you a PD, essentially a PD. It's a pretty like it's a PDF almost, that just step by step, very easy, very quick. But if you want something very technical and you want to add specific words, and you like, IRAD has more capability, but it's more complex and it's more clunky. Scribe is very easy. I would call it an Apple and a Apple versus Windows type of comparison. I enjoy Scribe because easy it is.
Yeah, same. That was our thing as well, and Supered as well. Like we liked it because it was quick and easy, and we could build it into the processes. Like while we test it, it'll record it. It's like QA and SOP at the same time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we do it for our clients. Go ahead. Sorry, let me cut you off.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I was just saying, build things, break it, and then fix it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the time, consistently. Yeah, so that's kind of how we've done that. Now, we're, like I said, Peddle is now getting to a point where we're trying to scale, and we're onboarding and hiring and training more people to do this. So we have two big use cases for Supered right now. And one of them is like, not necessarily, I guess, like industry specific use cases. So again, my background's in healthcare. So we have a lot of, medical practices and a lot of health tech. And so with that, the process is kind of repeatable and over and over again. So what we're doing is we've locked that model into a Supered package. And then the next step is training our team on how to use that package. And even before that, it kind of starts with like training new team members. So what we've done is we've kind of used Supered, because everyone starts in HubSpot. When they start here, they sign up for HubSpot, they get a meeting link, all that kind of stuff. Those SOPs are in HubSpot for new team member onboarding. But then the second place they typically go is Google Drive, which we haven't finished doing yet. And then the third place to go is Miro. So in our Miro, we have like our processes, our company goals. So we have a company growth strategy here. These are our goals for the year, like our 3 horizons, our vision and mission statement, all that kind of stuff lives here. Then we have like our operations, which is this, all of our go-to-market motions, all of our sales motions, what tools are used for those things, just in a visual. We have our hiring and onboarding processes, and then we have like account management, and then these are like our implementation processes. So this is like when we sell Sales Hub, we implement it. Here's the process of like what that looks like end to end. So we've put Supered into all these things. So when we have new team members, they know where to go. So if I were to assign a new Sales Pro account, an account manager would come in here and clone this template. And they'd know to do that because Super would tell them to do that. And then they clone this, they'd update it accordingly, they'd update the timeline, they'd know what steps happen in which week, and kind of how to do our process from there. So that's kind of like the visual side of it. And then we have like our project management, which is in ClickUp.
That's
Oh,
great.
it's gonna come today.
That was great to see Miro like just have it right there, right at the fingertips, so that they're not missing any of those cloning steps and implementation parts.
Right. Let's see if I can. I feel like ClickUp always just like anytime I load a new ClickUp, my computer goes like half the speed.
I agree with that statement.
Yes.
I love it, but man, it's heavy. It's so heavy. Yeah, same thing here. It's like you're onboarding at Peddle, like here's the onboarding folder. Here's all this stuff. Here's our company wikis. Here's our OKRs. This is our Peddle, like our client folder. So these are where all our Peddle clients are. There's a process here for whenever a new client is closed, close one in HubSpot. It'll create a Slack channel for them. It'll create a folder here for them. And then like how we manage tasks and how we manage statuses is all in here as well. So if you're new and you kind of forget things like, how do I filter tasks for me? You can see that here.
That's great. There you go.
So we have some like unique things like we have an assignee, we have an active user and a reviewer, because sometimes with our projects we'll have like a landing page, and there'll be a designer, and there'll be a copywriter, and there'll be a developer. And so in that event, for us to log time, we all need to be assignees. But whoever is working on the task next or currently is the active user. And whoever needs to review the task is the reviewer. So we sometimes have 3 people on a task based on who's passing the ball to who. So that process is laid out here as well on how we do that, on how that works. So we take it from, our onboarding, our training, our processes to like our project management and how we deliver HubSpot.
That's great. I love that it's just fully ingrained from step one, from the moment they become part of the team. It's onboarding, it's production, it's service of your clients.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, whenever we first met with Matt to chat through the use case for Super, we were trying to get at being generalists. We figured out some things. We had some niches that we could address in HubSpot, and we were trying to figure out how to scale. So we were like, well, let's lock down packages that we think make sense for our clients and for the history that we have and the case studies that we have, and let's make those processes as repeatable as possible. And so we started with like B2B service and B2B SaaS, specifically for like healthcare, health tech, and then one for e-commerce because Blaze is Susan. We have a couple of different e-commerce as well. But we started with like 3 main use cases. And then so we put together like onboarding packages for that. And then in addition to onboarding packages, we've kind of expanded out to just general hiring. It's great now to implement HubSpot, but also you need to know how to work here as a whole and understand, what the process is.
Yeah. I love that. I love anyone have any questions for Italo? He's pretty much laid it all out for you. Now the intention is take these ideas, marinate on them, and figure out ways that you can make use of, Supered in all of your systems, because it doesn't just live in HubSpot. It lives in a lot of places, and you can get quite a bit of use out of, embedding it right into your processes and procedures on a daily. Any questions? Oh, Colton says that the ClickUp app works better.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
I like to live in my browser, so.
Has anyone else done this yet? Has anyone else used this for like full like onboarding new team members and hiring? 'Cause it was kind of a no-brainer for me because like, well, now we have to teach them how to deploy the super package. And we have to teach them how to like what to build once you deploy the package and how to think through sales steps and or sales stages. And um, we have like some Google Docs that help us do that as well. And so it was like for us when we had clients, we would make all these SOPs. And when we had teams of like 20, 30 sales reps for clients, no one could ever find the SOPs or remember where they were. So it was like a pretty like immediate thing. As soon as we got it, was like, it's all going in there. It's all going to one place now.
Yeah.
Has anyone else done that for their whole process?
I don't expect our team to answer, but yeah, I mean, we've got a lot. we drank our
I
own
was gonna
Kool-Aid.
say, Super does.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
So no, I love the idea of like that your documentation, it's great. You can create as much as you want, but if it gets lost in the ether, then you've now wasted all of that time creating all of that wonderful information.
Yeah,
Italo, I'll answer the question for people and maybe some that aren't here. Is I and feel free to say this in the chat. What you're doing, the idea of cross-platform learning and bridging those across is not something that that I think people realize Super does yet. And we talk about the future, and we did not plan this, but it is, man, you gave me a layup when I get to my portion. It talks about where the platform wins long term. This is it. Like you think about the thing that scales with every client you ever touch and helps you create competitive advantage inside. It'll be the ability to create adoption because no platform, no HubSpot exists just in HubSpot. They have every company you do. You talk about the ability to create more services and create LTV. It's using it like you used it today. Like that is and you're going to see some product updates that make what you're doing today even easier.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think for me it was kind of just like a no-brainer. Like everyone these like the modern business just has so many tools in the tech stack, and I think that's just always going to be the case. And for it just made perfect sense to me kind of immediately to go ahead and do it this way. But yeah, there's I think we have a question on how to sell super or how we've done it in the past. So I think as Matt touched on, like our biggest thing was to try to make sure that we were sticky with people because we were going to do all this work and build these things for them. We wanted them to be able to make use of it and keep it long term. So we've done this a couple different ways. We have one client we just pay for them. And then because they have a monthly retainer and we know they're going to keep using it. And then we have one that we just have purchase it. And then we have a couple more that are coming on now where we're up in the air on which is going to work best. We don't have enough numbers to see what the best split is. But the thought here at Peddle is that most of our clients have a retainer. So if they don't want to buy it separately, we're just going to put it in the retainer. So hopefully they would like to buy it on their own, but if they don't, we're just going to put it in the retainer because everyone needs the sales pipeline mapped out. And we've yet to come across the HubSpot. I mean, we have integration projects. Sure, we just build integration and maintain it for them. And we're not their HubSpot admin team. And in that case, it's not for us to sell because they don't use us for that anyway. But for everyone else who uses us for that, we always have to document their sales pipeline. And so we're splitting it either way. So we try to sell it first, and if they don't bite on it, we just add it to the retainer package.
It's added value and added assistance for your team and theirs. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a stickiness and it's an update of when things change. We've had people come now. I think when we first did this for our first client was in September, maybe August, September, and we've updated the SOPs for them 2 or 3 times since then. So I think if we wouldn't have had that, we probably wouldn't have got those contract hours to go in there and redo it whenever they add salespeople or sales team members. And we met with them again earlier this morning, and they're growing really fast. We've hired 2 new sales managers, and then we're going to have to do it again. So it's just the stickiness that it brings in itself has been incredible.
Besides mapping it out, what would be that one, like that first step that people would take? I know we talked about, that map, that's great, but there's a lot, right? The processes aren't 2 steps and then you're done. How would you go about inviting people to take that next step besides creating a
I mean,
map
for installing
implementation?
Super,
Yeah.
for HubSpot as a whole, yeah. So our process is typically like a discovery. We do like a lean canvas. So yeah, I have that too. We have that Super up as well. We have like a lean canvas we have for clients. So we go through just the business canvas and ask them all the typical questions of their partnerships and their value propositions and all that kind of stuff. And through that, there's a discovery process of what we think can be done. And then we ask them what their objectives are, right? So we try to make sure that we keep their objectives front of mind while we're trying to add value. And then so once we have that process down, we write out a project plan of what's going to be done. And then we typically start with the sales process, diagram that out, and then get their team up and running in it, and then have them give us feedback on what's working and what's not working. And then once that's given, we document it in Super, historically in Scribe, now in Super and Scribe Mirror all together. We document it for them, and then we just continue the conversation of like, what can we do better next? Like it goes from HubSpot onboarding to step 2 is like revenue operations. Like, okay, cool. Like your sales team is up and running. Like, what are the numbers? Like, how do we get that time down? How do we get these leads up? How do we get these qualifications process better? Because they're not all qualified and cross over. So then we start diagnosing like each step of the sales process from like awareness generation to closing deals and take it case by case.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to hear your thought process on that evaluation process because, you know, I feel like a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I've got great big goals, map it out, and then crickets because it's an overwhelming task to start implementation. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, we're, oh, go ahead.
Nope, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're very lean startup. So like so I my first company got some funding when I was out of college, and that company flopped pretty quickly. And so after that, I was always really weary about doing things non-efficiently. And so we try to be very like lean startup model when we do things like customer discovery, get the feedback, get the surveys done before spending the money to build the product, make sure things are validated. And so we take that approach to everything. So when we try to do this, we try to do it in a lean fashion, like get the team up and running, get the basic skeleton in there, let them test it out, and then come back and iterate, and then do that again, then iterate again, and then try to iterate every step down the process. So there's quicker feedback loops instead of this massive like waterfall of a project and you get done and hate it. So we try to shorten that down.
That makes sense. Let's see. Rich says, using Super to train and help across platforms addresses a challenge that agencies have faced since time began. Getting clients to adopt and use defined because it's often powers a lot or even most of the process. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm biased too, but I definitely agree as well.
Yeah. Oh, Matt wants to know, have you used updates?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So for the bigger clients, we have like Slack for like open lines of communication for our clients. We're available 24/7. Reach out to us. We'll put a ticket in. And a lot gets lost because one team member will speak to us all the time and the rest of the team doesn't really know what's going on. So whenever we like have like a big update, like the sales pipeline has been updated, we use the updates to announce those.
Is that something you can show us?
I don't know if I have one up yet. Let me see if I have one that's still up.
While he's pulling that up, if anyone's got any questions, make sure you're utilizing the chat. The team is eagle-eyeing it over there for us. Love it. Always good to see it in process.
I think they're gone now. Let's see. I wonder if I got. I wonder if we just deleted them.
Well, you can you may have put them through your partner from your main account because you can send them from there as well.
Yeah, I wonder if they just got deleted somehow. That's weird.
Go to processes, updates. Yep. Out there.
Huh. Yeah, so whenever maybe when we were playing around with it and I was showing Parker, maybe we just delete all the old ones. But yeah, we've done it for Blazing Susan. They have a lot of we have a customer success person there that we work with constantly, but then we have to roll things out to the whole team. So we just do the updates for them.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna start doing them for us as well. Whenever we start like changing things around. Like right now we're trying to figure out building like a B2B SaaS super package. And then so whenever that's done rolling out, we'll probably do the same thing. So the whole team has like alert on what's going on. But yeah, so far it's just been HubSpot updates, but I'm realizing now that we'll probably do it for like all process updates, at least internally.
That makes sense. Love it. What other questions do we have for Italo, guys? Anything you're dying to know? He's sharing everything, so not thought of that use case for updates before. See?
Yeah.
Something that we take for granted that we're just doing is, completely brand new for someone else. So I love the transparency and the sharing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's as a HubSpot agency, kind of everyone's just going to be in HubSpot all the time. So again, if there's one place you're going to log into today, I mean, for us, it's ClickUp in HubSpot, right? So you'll be in those every single day, all the time, 24/7. So because we're trying to make it such a part, like a ingrained part of our business, yeah, we're probably just using for everything moving forward. Especially the large that we get. It's easy when it's one or two people, but once you start getting to like 5, 6, 7 people on a sales team or marketing team, and you kind of have to start doing updates.
Well, that's great. Well, Attila, I really appreciate you sharing everything and diving into it and just really digging it and giving us all your secrets, so that we can all just make the ecosystem just that much better. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. The clap, I agree with the clap.
Super feature update. It's super product update. Super. Okay. I'm gonna go through. There's a bunch of Santa stuff that Steve gave and the team did throughout that I'm gonna walk through with some of you've seen in different locations. I'll go through, and at the end, I'm going to go through probably the thing that's going to. You thought Super was awesome. You were coming out with something mid-February. If you'd like to be in beta, send us a note. You can put it in that chat, but send us a note. But it's something called Journeys, and it's exactly what Italo talked today about. And you'll see it. So I'll talk about it and I'll walk through the premise of this today. And if you have questions about that, let me know here in a second. Okay, so beta, yes sir. So here we go. I'm gonna go through. I'm walking through desktop. So first off, do we use Super? Yes, we use Super. I mean, putting product updates in Super now, so we can actually do it. If you're saying like we have all our stuff, so let's just do thing number one that's here is, and I'll talk about these not in the order they're in here. Number one, there's a global search on this thing now. Thank goodness. I was getting as we were using it internally. One of the things like, man, I really wish I could do it. So when you think about, hey, where are our updates at? This is like I do a weekly update. All our updates are directly inside Super now, and I just put them, and it works. So I used to use ClickUp's so darn slow. I just don't like doing things in there. and you want people to be able to access this. So like if I'm on my LinkedIn and I was topping and I came and now I can search in like weekly update. I have all the weekly updates, and here's the weekly update we did, right? That's all here. So this is what we're doing. I'll actually go over some of this weekly update because I think some of it is you'll see it. And when I do learning journeys, you'll see all of this stuff. Okay. Okay, here's the thing. Crap, I lost my place. How do I get back? Surge product. Heck yeah. Oops, that's Surf product. Surge product updates. Thank goodness. Like that's that fixed for. Okay, next is record customization. Now this is a big darn deal. If you're not using this yet, you should add this to every one of your packages. What this allows us to, I really mean that. What this allows you to do is if you're inside of a HubSpot, and I just posted this today, like with let me go inside. If you're inside of a HubSpot, is you now on any record can copy the full record on the left side. So like anything that you have on how when you have it updated, you can copy every section, the order of those sections, and conditional sections, and any conditional property on the left side. You can copy any tab and overview that you have, along with custom tabs, all copied, and the order of your write tabs. So if you have a way, so like say I have spiced and I have a sales methodology, you don't have to ever again recreate that section. You can just create this section with everything you need. It's standard. If you have a certain way you like to organize the about us, like any of these, you can redo them. So you now can copy that over, and allows you to have your record experience in any level. That's a big deal. Saves lots of time. So what does that look like? If you go into your packages now, and I'll go into building I don't have a clue what this is. Let's go to build a package. Now all you do in your, and this is another easy thing. We got like, watch this. Custom. Woo! There's a little search. I know it's easy. I know that doesn't make any sense, but you don't have to drag. You just type what you want. Record customization. It will pull up. Do you want the left side of your contact? And you go through every single object you have, and it will pull it.
Oh, wow.
So this saves lots of time. Will save you even more time than Supered already does. I think Tom's already using it. I know. Okay. Next. I got to go inside. I'm inside Supered already. Global search saves your last 5 searches, so I don't have to look at it again. I can just go straight to it. Next is I'm gonna do fresh paint. If you have a note, Supered's a little bit prettier. You'll see some fresh paint coming on. There's global pats. The way you notice that how breadcrumbs to the top. The right has the way the edit's done differently. If you go to settings and go to users, the user's prettier, right? So like all this, everything's a bit prettier. There's a fresh coat of paint. I put that in the Super Jam community. You can see that. That'll be the super duper update will be coming out. We're actually we're doing a full refresh of the Chrome extension as well. That's going to give even more space, and will make it'll be easier for users to have. And this is getting ready for what I'm going to talk about next is called journeys. Let me go back to the product update. And then updates and packages. One of the reasons I asked about updates are extremely powerful. And I don't think it's difficult to showcase. That's why Ito, thank you for sharing that. I was asking like, hey, are you using those? They're so powerful that if you're doing an onboarding or you're doing something that you've done over and over again, you can preload announcements about something. Hey, like you could say, hey, we're getting started week 1. You could have, hey, you could have completion already preloaded in a package. So now if you go to a package, I'm going to go to partner package, my name. You'll notice this build package now has updates, and you do that the same way you do process rules. You bring it to a package. You now can bring in updates into a package as well. So those media files you have or the message you have constructed can already be pre-done. So just another thing you can add and give as part of that. Before I get into journeys, is there any questions about what I've showed so far? I'm not looking at the chat window.
Nope, just some love on all of the awesome that is happening in Supered.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about journeys. Okay, so I think is it Richard that said it? They put in there. He said this thing about cross-platform training. When you think about adoption, this is the thing since the internet existed and there's cloud platforms. This is you're using your computer. This is the issue that has existed. I agree so much. We're going to create a product to fix it. Now, Supered is the first portion, and we've really just been building up to this product. And I think this is the flagship that we're going to talk about today. You're not going to see anything. I just need the premise of the thing we're fixing. And then over the next couple of weeks, we are building. If you think Supered's awesome right now, you hadn't seen it. I'm telling you, like, this is the next thing that's coming. Let me, I really mean it. I really mean it. But let me show you like why, like, okay, Matt, why didn't you build journeys first? I just think it's important you understand we have a totally different go-to-market than any company you've ever seen. And you're getting this. Let me show you that. I had to give a talk to Yamini. I chat with her quarterly to go over Supered's because we've grown so fast. So she's like, hey, Matt, will you talk to me? Give me some insight. What's happening? How's the app marketplace working? So she wants a quarterly update. So I meet with her and I had to make some slides. Here's some slides. And that's not the one I want to It's the weekly updates. Here's some of the slides I had to do. Okay, you may not see this very well, but when I think about our TAM, you think about Super's TAM, and I talk about this is our goal. We are a partner first company. We will never have, and I say never is a strong word. I'm not gonna say never. I can't imagine a future, which is a different way of saying it, but like with the give me a little way out. I can never imagine a future today where we have a onboarding team because the way we're building it is we are building with partners first. But the only way when we're going to a HubSpot ecosystem, we had to actually fix the problems that partners were having. That was portal replication. Like we needed the ability, if we're going to actually train, you can't just, hey, let's create a training thing. No, you actually had to give the ability for people to productize their services because the money will be made in sharing your thought leadership, your guidance, your videos, how the method, like your IP. So once you have it, now you can share IP. What we haven't created like Italo, you were starting to do it there and I love it. It is, we haven't given the delivery mechanism to actually create adoption across platform. And when I talk about that, that is the thing that end users will love. So like they are already finding it useful. This will make it irresistible. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. But like when we think this is what we're going after, 1 million, but we're not going to grow a whole large sales team. We have partners that we're giving a product that we're not trying to make money off of, that we want to have from the very get-go. So that's why we are partner first. And anything we create, what we're creating is mission critical for HubSpot partners to serve their clients. And we're only looking at things through the lens of partners. So if it doesn't help partners create revenue, it's a very difficult for us to prioritize. So I want you to put that in our mind. So what does that mean? We are the next product we're building is a thing that scales with HubSpot's revenue, which means it scales with their users and for that. So it's called Journey. Before I stop, has anybody experienced Super differently than I've talked about? Like we are our go-to-market is partner first, and that's what we think about. That's what we live. That's what we breathe. If you think that's different, has anybody not experienced that? It's a weird question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, dead silence there.
We definitely feel the love. We've always felt the love about Peddle. We always get all the updates, and we always stay involved with the team. You guys always reach out to us to make sure we're empowered to grow more. So we always feel the love.
So the hope is that like we don't have CSMs for end users. We only have PSMs for partners, right? Like we're organizing our team that way. Okay. So what's the next thing to build? What is this? We're calling Learning Pass. Now, I want you to see this. This is I can't, I'm not showing you any of this stuff. This is the thing that we're asking for beta. We'll start doing sign up for. This is the problem we're solving and I'll say it this way is Scribe starts to get it, but we're going to, it is people don't have a way to learn that reflects their work patterns. Learning at work is broken, and that's why you hate it. That's why I hate it. What happens is you teach me in an LMS. You take me off the platform I'm in to teach me. And what Super, you're starting to see that I can teach what in the act of doing. But the reality is no single activity is sufficient. And what Super's doing today is allowing you to do, it's reminding, in some ways checking, right? With process rules. But we need something that does seeing, doing, reminding, checking, validating, and put all those individual elements together in a journey that someone can go through, that you can check they go through, that you can self-construct and you can deliver to your end users so that they adopt said thing that has frequencies. Number two, it can't live in another platform. It must be on the platform they're using in the moment they're using. So example would be healthcare's that has HubSpot and a electronic health record. You must solve the cross-platform training in the moment across in a way that allows you to teach, see, do, remind, check, and validate. Number, which is both has to fundamentally be cross-platform. Next to is every company creates internal products. Anything like if you go to HubSpot to Excel, HubSpot, Gmail to HubSpot, that's an internal product that bridges. And the gap in learning is all like you have to bridge that gap. And everybody has the problem, even internal. Peddle, that's what you're doing now is you're scaling it. Everybody has to bridge this gap. And The last is it must be on demand and proactive. It must be accessible no matter where I am. I need to know that I have access to it. And also it needs to tell me when I need remedial training, right? I need to be able to upskill, reskill, onboard, and everboard all in the same place, all at the same time, with some way for HR. If I had a learning man, like a learning trainer person, a people ops, that they can actually manage the training of a large amount of people. Or if I'm a CEO, I can manage the training of a small team as I scale. You need to serve both those purposes. And then it has to be work from home. It has to be remote first in a new reality. It must be with that in mind, not in a learning predominantly done in person on site. Even though that's how we learn. That's how I learned. Like it must change that. Okay. And then this idea of video is superior to words, step-by-step guides are superior to video. When we think we're creating a journey, is these individual elements that you created that you showed today, Italo, we are putting them all together, and the ability for you essentially to create a course that bridges platforms, that lives on platforms, that does what Scribe's doing, but more holistically, that incorporates the full vision. So you're doing V1, and this is always where we've been going. V2 is going to be where you can direct people with go here, and it will automatically take people to the place. And then you can validate with knowledge checks, potentially even as we go further, having them do specific actions inside HubSpot to validate they're doing them with the right. So that's where we're going, what we're thinking through. I am pumped if you can't get it of this, especially and as we have the partner core that we can now be able to execute this, because we couldn't do it. We actually wouldn't be able to, we just couldn't do it last year. So this year, now we have all the bases. This is the thing we're thinking about the most. Okay, I'll stop there. Do you have any questions, thoughts, concerns about anything I've said thus far?
I think everybody's excited. I don't know if you're all as excited as we are, but I'm crazy excited about this because I feel like this is what everyone, literally everyone in the world needs, because everyone uses more than one system, period. End of sentence. There's no more to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that it's helping the remote work situation. One of our big things at Peddle has always been to, enable people to work remotely, and have the lives that they want. And so some of that comes with, enabling people to be able to do their jobs efficiently and effectively and save time and not work crazy hours to be able to survive. So that's why the training's been a big thing for us. Is how do we skill people up and how do we get people up and running quickly and easily to have a an awesome remote job they really enjoy. And so that's kind of why we love Super in the interface.
Wow. Agreed.
Wow.
I have Tom that you've added that I think I can just add here. I mean, this is you're throwing water on my party here, but this is the thing you wrote is what Supered is, and I'm gonna say what's put in here. Partner problem. IP added to HubSpot cannot be protected. It can be copied by another partner. Something for Super to solve, maybe, or is the I'm gonna say this in another way. Supered is AI, like an AI like change to the HubSpot ecosystem. Except actually here, and it works in the same, in like a very powerful way. Is AI democratizes the ability to write blog, like to just create and do anything. Super does that same thing. I think long term, how well you construct a HubSpot instance will no longer be the competitive advantage. It will be how well you can train, which is you can't take journeys, you can't take the training, is how well you can train in the thought leadership and that IP of how you're constructing it across that. And I think that's going to occur in every industry everywhere, right? So when you're talking to protection, is maybe there's small solves we're thinking, but we're often thinking about that. The first thing we did is solving for like individual employees. Like, how do I make sure someone doesn't take all of this in turn? So we've solved that portion through user controls. The next is like, can we control this one? It's really hard, Tom. I would say never lose them once you get them. would be and how do you do that? It's like creating these exceptional experiences. And the reality is it's going to be very difficult for a company to replicate something you've done with the level of it's how you deliver it more than what you build. I've done
That's
actually
true.
really good done HubSpots, but they're not trained well, they're not onboarded well, the delivery's not done well. That's where people win.
Yeah. Create a place where no one wants to leave, and you'll keep all of that IP with you.
Yep.
Love it.
Any other questions? Anything?
Chris says product IP will be the commodity, and CX on top is the differentiators. And yeah, some agreement on that for sure.
Yep.
We definitely want to hear your thoughts and feedback. So make sure you're checking in on Super Jam. I put the link in there again. We'll put it in there. We want to hear what you want. We want to hear what you want to know. So ask us questions, give us some feedback, and we'll get whoever's interested in that beta.
I'll say something that's upcoming that I didn't say is mirror mode, which is prepping for this is the intent for this, and whether that's V1, V2 coming out for journeys, is the ability for you to have content what's coming out very soon is the ability to have like supered cards that once you deploy it to a customer, they can't change it. Only you can change it. And when you change it, it auto changes to every customer you put on it. So you don't have to redeploy anything.
Awesome.
If you make a change. So it's called mirror mode. And the reason we part of why we need that construct is because there may be some of that in journeys is, hey, I have this journey and I can choose to make it where you can have it and you can change it. Or I could be a solopreneur and I could have some like proprietary thing and I could sell something to you. And if you get off my retainer, I take it away. Right. So we're thinking we're creating different models for partners to be able to sell IP and thought leadership and create reoccurring revenue and reoccurring impact. So, okay.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That's
How's
all
that?
that I have. Yeah.
That's great. No, it's I think mind blowing everything is a lot to have.
I have one other thing.
I knew it. You can never only have one thing.
I have one other thing. Please submit if you have a song or something you'd like us to do. We create a super jam last one was Care of the Sales. We have some coming out 12 Days of Christmas. We did Drop It Like It's Hot or Super Like It's Hot. Here's the next one that's coming. You'll hear it in my ears here in a second. Just let me know. We also Baby Got Slapped is coming out. If you have a specific one you'd like us to do, or potentially with your company, give me a note and we can work something.
Really want to hear what you got to say. We want to collaborate with you. Like, as Matt said, as partners, as users, you are who we're building for, you are who we're supporting. So we want to hear everything from you and learn from you and grow with you. So Italo, much appreciation. Thank you so much for all of the things that you shared. Keep doing it big, guys. Keep saying it awesome and super. Have a good one.
Oh, thanks guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you at the next Surge, January 25th. Stay awesome. Stay super.